In the news this week, minimum wage limits to be debated as Labor Party push for an increase.
Also, youth vocational education in decline as TAFE faces more reduction in both funding and enrolment. Plus, bicycle dispute. Should cyclists be forced to pay for third-party insurance?
This is the Evening News with Ivan Leung and Danielle Staniskov.
Good evening. The push to increase minimum wage in Australia continues, with federal opposition leader Bill Shorten promising change for low-income earners if he is elected as Prime Minister. While the plan may help workers to meet the cost of living, small businesses claims it's an attack on them. Nelson Liu reports.
Minimum wage earners currently struggle on a low income, but that could be about to change.
It is a good move.
In his first speech of the year this week, federal opposition leader Bill Shorten has introduced plans to increase the minimum wage if he's elected as Prime Minister. The proposal could boost the wage by as much as 23%.
Wages haven't kept pace with the rise of the cost of living, and something needs to be done to reflect that.
Experts say it's time low-paid workers are provided with an adequate wage.
People shouldn't be left working full-time and still being in poverty.
Young people believe the current minimum wage has made it difficult for them to survive financially. If the rate increases, it will be a game changer. However, the business sector has called it an attack on small business, causing company closures and job losses. But unions have rejected their concerns.
They're scaremongering, and I think the business lobbies just need to calm down and look at this in a more reasonable light.
And experts say current low-paid workers need to address concerns about their wage if they think they're being exploited.
They shouldn't be putting up with that.
Nelson Liu, WAMN News.
The Productivity Commission's report on vocational education training looked at all the states and where our state ranked. Over the last few years, state funding into the TAFE sector decreased and a slow divestment away from training funding occurred from the Commonwealth. Taylor Hanna has the details.
The government's recurrent funding into vocational education training totalled $5.8 billion in 2016, decreasing 6.7% from recent years. Despite 2017 funding remaining constant, the Commonwealth has now withdrawn funding out of general training, creating big holes within the individual college budgets.
The Commonwealth Government has walked away from funding general training, and they have not been prepared to fill that hole. The negotiations, as I understand it, have not succeeded with all the states, and so we know that here within Western Australia, all the individual TAFE colleges have had to redo their budgets with much lower amounts.
Alison Zamon, Greens MP, explained that enrolment figures into TAFE courses have decreased, whilst attendance fees have steadily increased.
I think it's fair enough to be able to make the correlation that simply TAFE is not becoming affordable for people.
The state government made an election promise to freeze TAFE fees, but it won't be enough to encourage people to enrol, with affordability now being a factor. Investments into the training sector creates demand for employment, which might not be necessary now, but will be important in the looming future. Taylor Hanna, WAMN News.
Bicycle interest groups have talked down the idea of having compulsory third-party insurance for cyclists. They've also rejected the idea of enforcing the mandatory single file rule for group cyclists on public roads. In an open letter to the Claremont Town Mayor, Westcycle's CEO Matt Fulton argued the suggested costs of administrating the insurance will outweigh the benefits for the community.
And people requesting these types of things are based purely on emotion, not facts and looking at the actual information out there. And we know that there's thousands upon thousands of cyclists in WA that already have third-party insurance. That's either through being a member of a cycling organisation or on their home and contents policy.
People are being asked to be vigilant against scammers with iTunes card cons, the latest threat. WA consumer protection data reveals nearly 400 people have been scammed in WA last year, leading to $8 million in losses. iTunes card cons doubling from 17 to 34 in 2016. The state government says people need to be wary of the signs they're being scammed and seek help.
Often the victims are senior people and people that have worked very hard for their families and for the country, and now they're being taken advantage of by these scammers. So our message is to everybody to be careful.
Mirrabooka detectives have charged a 21-year-old man with a variety of offences after he allegedly stole a vehicle and evaded police. It's alleged police attempted to stop the driver, but he failed to do so and accelerated away. Driving in a reckless manner from Morley throughout the northern suburbs, police were able to apprehend the driver after he abandoned the vehicle in Kareen. The driver appeared in magistrates' court facing 15 charges, including aggravated burglary, reckless driving and failing to comply.
British Prime Minister Theresa May says the Brexit plan will be finalised within 7 weeks. The crucial period is looming as both Britain and the European Union will engage in negotiations on the terms and conditions on the split. The EU suggests that their relations with the UK will remain unchanged until the end of year 2020. Both sides hope a final solution will be reached by the end of March. US President Donald Trump has lashed out at the Justice Department and the FBI on Twitter, accusing them of alleged bias during their investigation. Mr. Trump also accused Hillary Clinton and the Democrats of the alleged cover-up on funding GPS Fusion in order to create a dossier against him. According to the reports, the White House released confidential memos on Friday. The FBI put a statement expressing concerns of the accuracy of memos' contents.
And finally this week, the Perth Festival is coming to the city with a siren song to be played in the morning and sunset on the 9th of February to mark the beginning of the festival. There will be dynamics, including a helicopter fitted with speakers broadcasting the music. It's expected that the song can be heard within a 2-kilometre radius, covering West Perth, East Perth, North Bridge and Kings Park. The song was premiered previously in Hobart's Midwinter Dark Mobile Festival.
And that's our weekly news and current affairs. You can catch up with our latest news on our website and Facebook.
From Danny, myself and rest of the team until 8 o'clock next Sunday, a very good evening to you.
Good night.